Well, it's concrete time again, but this time I'm running up the white flag and letting Dustin, Tom, and Rich handle the whole enchilada. They're going to form and pour this stretch of sidewalk today, and I am happy to just stay out of their way and let them have it. One big advantage is that the subgrade is perfect. Essentially, all they have to do is pin the forms to the ground and pour it out. I hope you enjoy watching these three men make a hard job look easy. Now this work is happening in the utility easement that's adjacent to the street. It's my property, but the city has absolute control over everything that happens inside of this first 20-foot strip. Today, that means that the sidewalk must comply with the width and slope requirements of the ADA, that is, the Americans with Disabilities Act. So Dustin is checking the placement of the edge form to verify this, because if we miss any of the requirements of width or of slope or of thickness, I will be tearing this concrete out. A big part of getting ready for the day is laying out and clearly marking where the control joints will go before the mud is in the form and the chemical reaction horse race is underway. This little step can save you. Another big part of preparing for the concrete is wetting the subgrade, or spraying water on the gravel. This keeps the gravel from sucking the water out of the bottom side of the concrete, and it's a very important step. Now, anytime you're pouring on a steep slope like this, the bad news is that you just have to pour uphill. It's hard, but it's the only way to be sure that the mud fills the form all the way to the top, and it is not just sagging down behind you, too low as you screed your way down the hill. Now, the truck driver has no problem pouring while backing up the hill. He can see what's going on, and he's keeping out of the way of what's happening on the ground. The consistency or slump of the concrete is also critical to all of this, as you can imagine. The pressure associated with pouring concrete, and I mean psychological pressure here, is greatest at the very beginning of the job and then at the very end of the job. Right now, when it's going down, you've simply got to slam it into the form and into the right shape just as quickly as possible. There's no time to lose right now because there's a lot to do once it is in shape and before the final sprint at the finish. You see the pink liquid in that spray can? That's known as Confilm, and that stuff will buy you some time. It's sprayed on top of the concrete mid-process, and it keeps the surface from drying out too early. Now the mud continues to set up, but the top is not going to crust over, especially on a nice warm and windy day. This way, when you're ready, you can work right over the top of the Confilm, trowel it right in, and it just goes away. One big reason the work these men do always looks so good is the attention they give to the edges of the work. If the edges of your slabs are perfectly flat and flush with the tops of the forms, not rolled down by the edger, very few people will spot a small discrepancy out in the middle.
Yeah.
Once the walk is down, with the joints in, the edges straight, the trowel marks gone, and is fairly firm to the touch, it's time to broom it off. A soft broom is affectionately known as Uncle Harry. Uncle Harry is the concrete man's friend. He can make almost any job look pretty darn good, and when the work is good to start with, he makes it beautiful. Thank you for watching Essential Craftsman, and keep up the good work.